I wish to start our questions and answers session with my own question. As I said before, I'm very new in HR, so I think you will allow me to start the first question that has been mind-boggling with regard to all the speakers. What if our organization leader will not understand whatever has been discussed today? And I'm speaking on behalf of those who are like me. We work with government. The system there is totally different. It's not the private sector. But here we're talking about things that can be productive, can increase our productivity, can increase our revenue collections, can improve profitability, whether you are working with Vodacom or you're working with TTCL or you're working with TCRA or any other government institution or Ministry of Foreign Affairs, for example. So how do we make these improvements where you have a very difficult management? Davis talked a little bit about it. Ian talked a little bit about it. If you have a technical leader, then it's going to be very difficult for them to look at people relations when it comes to embracing technology. Also, Vivienne has talked about it, and Agatha also has talked about it. So I'll start with that question, and if Ian can take it for the first one, and then we'll receive the rest from the group as well. Ian, are you still with us? Okay, Ian, my question is, how do you embark on building relations in an organization where the leader is too technical by orientation? And this goes to all of us. So you are an HR in that organization. How do you go about it and to make your case heard?
So one of the key things to recognize that every single leader has priorities. And every single leader has things that drive them in terms of what they want to accomplish. So your role from an HR standpoint is to first understand what drives your particular leader. In the political context, as we know, it's obviously in the following election, all the rest of it. But if it's a technical leader, you got to understand that they are data-driven, that they are driven by facts and figures. And therefore, as an HR professional in an organization where your leader is technical, you need to present them with facts and figures and data. You need to support what you're doing with facts. So for example, if you are training and you're looking to train your people, you need to look at, when you've invested in training, you need to put a methodology in place to be able to track the benefit of that training over time. So for example, if you're sending people to train on a particular piece of equipment or on a particular process, you need to be able to put something in place that when the people come back from training, there is a clear plan and process for documenting and measuring the impact. So for example, if you have a particular deficiency in a particular process, or you may have a particular set of failures in a particular piece of equipment, you need to be tracking the failures after training and to be able to present data to support the investments you've made so that you can actually convince that leader that what you are doing actually brings value to the organization, not just in the short term, but in the medium to long term.
Thank you so much, Ian. From the audience, do we have a question? Karibu.
Thank you. So for me, it's not just a question. I just want to contribute a little bit because there is this notion that we in the private, maybe we have an opportunity of moving faster than you guys in the government. But I'm telling you, for example, for Tanzania, we have all the enabling environment for even the public institution to go digital. And I know this country, what has done in the ICT. We have all the enabling environment. For instance, there are so many shared systems that are available, and they are very cheap. It's just for you to go and configure to your computer, and then you go. Systems like ERMS, for example. It's an ERP, has 19 modules. And if someone wants to know how this system is rigorous, they can come to TCIA. We are using it. And we've been able to connect with other international systems like a Top Sky and everything. We have e-office, which has tremendously transformed the document management system throughout the government. Now you don't need to take a letter to the post office and everything. You just, in your computer, you send the letter to Mishi, to any ministry, and it goes. And we have the e-payment gateway, the control number thing. This is a revolution, you see? And these things have been developed by our local Tanzanians, the guys from here, our own people. This notion of disregarding our own initiative, our own whatever, we think technology has to come from abroad or has to come from India. No, we have our guys here who can do things, and other people are coming to copy. So I think my colleagues from the public service, let's use these shared systems. They're cheap. With your 6 million, you get your e-office. With your less than million Amsini, you get your ERMS. So what do you want? The enabling environment is there for us to go digital. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was a contribution, a question. Another contribution? Karibu.
It's mine. Thank you. I just wanted to share with you, I have here some very interesting information. It's coming from the World Bank. And it says Tanzania is second in Africa in effective use of ICT by the government. And I found it to be very interesting. And if you want to think about it, then thanks to eGov, because they've done a lot of work in that. Yeah.
I think that's a good point for our dear guests who are not from Tanzania. eGov has been a lifesaver, I think, for the most of government officials. But a lot of systems that normally you would go and queue to pay for your land rents, for your all the necessary government levies and taxes, you can do them online. And I think that's what our colleagues from Tanzania are just about to give us the data. Karibu. There's a question there.
Well, thank you, Chair, for giving me this opportunity. It's not a question. I just wanted to contribute towards the question you raised. One of the aspects that relates to projects, particularly IT projects, be it digitalization, whatever, is when the project is in the offing, the whole organization must be involved. This is one of the lessons that I've learned in one organization, that they started digitalizing the system. So from top to bottom, if everybody understands, they become good ambassadors to carry on the project. Now, if the project is done by IT people without involving the rest of the organization, it becomes very difficult to implement that project. And I have evidence in the organization that I've worked with, and right now the organization is paperless. But we started, we didn't adopt Big Bang. We went through piecemeal approach. And right now, the whole organization is, because there was a buy-in, and of course, apart from the buying, but also the ownership of the project was shared among the institution. Thank you.
So there's a need to have that shared vision, even if it comes for the IT or it comes from HR, but it needs to be a shared vision for the entire organization for it to succeed.